flown a plane before? So we can go pretty much anywhere you like in the world. There are 24,000 airports we can fly in and out of. Well, we happen to be sitting at Canberra Airport at the moment. So maybe we'll just start with a quick circuit around Canberra, get you used to the controls, and then go somewhere else. Does that sound okay? Yep. Okay. So, even though you haven't flown a plane before, if I said to turn left, I imagine you would just do that. So you can try it. Turn left, turn right. Yep. Push the nose down of the plane, push away, yep. And bring the nose up. That's right. To get us flying, there's just a few things, 3 things you need to do. First one is move the flaps to 5. So just with the flap lever, move it to the 5 mark. Yep. This is the park brake. We'll just slide the park brake off. No, just this one here. Yep, just push it forward. Yep. The throttles are here, they're displayed there. When you move the throttles forward, see there's a line here underneath. I want you to set the edge of that line, the new line, the lead line, to where the mark for the 9 is. So just advance the throttles. Yep, that's pretty good, that's excellent. Now we just wait until we pick up enough speed to take off. That'll be close, there'll be 145 knots. When we get close, I'll say rotate. That's when I want you to pull back on the stick. And shortly after I'll say relax, and that's when I want you to take it back to where it is now. We're at 130 knots, 140, now rotate. So pull back, pull back. Yep, now relax. So push the stick back to where it was. That's excellent. We don't need the wheels anymore, so you pull this lever out and slide it all the way up. Yep, that'll bring the undercarriage up. And we don't need quite so much thrust, so bring the levers back to about where my finger is, which will give us about 60%. A little bit more. And you start turning to the left, we'll do our circuit. Not quite so steeply, and pull back a little bit. Yep, that'll be fine. So this is Mount Majura. You live in Canberra?
No.
1,000.
Terrain.
Don't worry about the warnings.
Too low.
We'll keep turning left. So you might recognise Telstra Tower on Black Mountain.
Yeah.
So that's the city centre there. We're just going to fly down towards that white mountain. So obviously the lake, Carillion, Parliament House, and what's the library and Questacon, High Court, Art Gallery and so on in there, and just up there is the War Memorial.
you're recording, you're just recording the scene, not me, right?
Got sort of the side of your face a little bit, and what we see out there, and a few of the instruments. And hopefully not the back of my head.
Terrain.
So we're aiming down that way, so a little bit more to the left. And I'll explain the instruments I haven't done. So that's the main instrument, the artificial horizon. So it mimics what we see out the window. So the sky, the ground. That dot in the wings are us. So that instrument will tell us two things. It tells us our pitch, how much up or down the nose is. So we've got a slight up pitch at the moment, which is fine. And will also tell us the roll, how much we're tilted to the left or right. Okay. So we can read those things off. That triangle at the top, it's telling me that we're going about 5 degrees roll to the right. So you can straighten up, head us towards that mountain down there. So you want to turn the other way, turn to the left. And the other instruments, that's our speed in knots, our altitude in feet above sea level, or meters in the little box. And on this side, the map view, the plane is the triangle. I can zoom in and out. If I zoom out a long way, we see lots and lots of other airports around the place. If I go back into there, you can see Canberra Airport's just below the edge of the screen. We can keep turning round to the left like you are, and we'll get onto that dashed white line shortly. That shows us the alignment of the runway. Probably want to be not quite so steep in the turn. Yeah. That's good. Keep turning around to the left a little bit more. Yep, that's good. So if you bring your controls back to flat, like that, you'll still see that we're still turning. So whatever you're holding at an angle, it increases the rate of turn. That's good, it's looking good. So you can see those two lights there? They're the threshold lights for the runway, one on each side at the beginning of the runway. And you can see the dark strip running sort of that way. So we set up nicely. A few things we need to do now to prepare for the landing. One is to bring the wheels back down, so pull out, slide all the way down. Pull out again. Yeah, that's it. Just keep an eye on keeping us straight, lined up for the runway. We need this, what's called the speed brake arm. So bring that lever back to that line, and we'll get a little blue light come on there. Yep, tells us we're right. And turn this dial clockwise 2 notches, so to the right. That's it. Now just keep us lined up. So you want a bit more turn left to get us over there. And the last thing we need to do as far as these controls go is to put the flaps out to pop up and pull all the way down this way. Yep. But you need to keep turning us to the left.
1,000.
And now start turning to the right to straighten this up.
1,000.
Bring your throttles back to about there, about 40%. Yep. And a bit more work on getting us straight. Yep, pulling up at the same time and turning left now.
200. 100. 50.
Bank angle, bank
30.
angle.
20. 10.
Alright, we're on the ground. So throttles off. Pull the throttles all the way off. Pull these off. Yep. And pull these reverse thrust levers up. So you hear the engine change pitch because of the reverse thrust. So we've got the reverse thrust slowing us down, we've got the speed brake slowing us down, we've got these wheel brakes slowing us down. So it was a little bit hairy, but it just takes practice, and it's very hard to get used to, or it takes a little while to get used to how much lag there is in the system. I'll show you the control surfaces while we're here. So you've got your flaps all the way down, and they'll start moving up as you move these. These ones that have popped up there are the speed brakes. So if you put them off, they go out. Put them back on. If I push the elevator down, if you look at the elevator, that wiggles when we do that. And the pedals in front of your feet, the rudder pedals, so you watch that go left and right. And the other one to show you here, if you look around about there, you'll see a very slight deflection with the ailerons, and then you get a little bit of speed brake to assist either way. Maybe a little bit easier to see the deflection there. So just out here's a tiny little panel, just goes up or down. So that's how you're tilting left and right. So where would you like to fly to next, or from? You can go anywhere in the world.
Can we go to Delhi, India?
Yeah. So we go from India again.
Yeah.
Same routine as before, we need the flaps at 5. Just pop it straight up. Park brake we left off, so it's off. It's fine. So you can go, it's on now, yeah. And the throttle at 90%. Waiting till we reach close to 145. We're at 100, 110, 120, 130, 140, now rotate. your nose down a little bit. See, we're up at about 20 degrees. We need to be down closer to 10. Yep. You put the gear up, pull down the slider. And bring your throttle back to about 60. Okay, and then we'll find somewhere you want to look at in Delhi.
So this is Delhi airport.
Yep, we're over Delhi.
Oh, that's the capital, right?
Yes. Have you been to Delhi before?
Just see it in movies.
Right. So the only things I can remember, but I don't know how to find it, is the Gate of India or something like that.
Gate of India.
Bank angle.
So should we find somewhere to land, or do you want to go somewhere from here? Or you just want to keep going around in circles?
Can you go to different airport?
Yeah.
London?
Sorry?
London?
London, yeah. Do you want to land first or just go? Okay. There's our runway, but what we're going to have to do is go a bit further away from it and turn around. So I'm just going to move this pink line, give us a direction to follow. be following it when it's vertical. So now it's getting closer, you need to sort of turn out of the turn, slow progression down, and a little bit more to make it stop. That's fine, a little bit more, make the wings level.
What are these buttons for?
The button on your left, you're talking about the ones on your
Like a
fingers?
switch.
Yep, it's just pause for the computer. But the ones here, one of them is press to talk. If we're in contact with air traffic control, we press it. So requesting permission to take off and release. Other ones, and the one that's on pause would normally be perhaps disconnecting immediately from autopilot. These are most of the autopilot controls on here. So we needed to keep following that pink line. And if you bring the throttle back to about 40%, we'll lose a bit of altitude. We're up very high at the moment. But we need to get back on the pink line. We need to turn left to get us onto that pink line.
Bank angle, bank angle.
So normally it's sort of constant adjustment, so you always have at least one hand on the controls. It's a bit like driving your car, you're driving in your lane, but most people don't let go of the steering wheel. It's constant minor adjustment to keep straight. Need to turn a little bit to the right just to keep us on track and keep the nose down. We're picking up a lot of altitude. Need to push away a little bit, turn to the right. So we just have to now get far enough away from the airport so we can turn and have time to approach. So you can start turning now, far enough away, turn to the left, a bit like we did over Canberra. So you turn left and get us onto that white line. While you're doing that, while we're waiting to turn around, we can get the gear back down, so pull out, slide down. Arm the speed brakes, bring that out to that line, and get the little light on there, and turn this one 2 clicks to the right.
Is the recording vertical or horizontal?
It's
2500.
horizontal. So keep us turning. tried to get onto that white line, so we want it vertical. And just pulling up a little bit. Our airport's way over there. So we want a little bit more altitude. We need to be up a little bit more to get us lined up. Over about there. Can't quite see it yet, but somewhere about there.
Does this have a GPS?
Yes, it does, but
What do the real pilots use?
they'll generally use this. They'll be on autopilot.
Or if
Help guide them in.
if they're going to another city, then what will they use? Is there a GPS here that they're following the navigation?
They would have entered a flight plan into here, and they get this display to show them where the runway is when they get there. So you can see there's some red lights there. One of them's there, and one of them's there. There's 2 runways at Delhi. I'm not quite sure yet which one we're on. There's slightly different angles. So I think we're going on the left one. So they don't have a GPS like in your car in the sense of giving you directions and saying 300 metres turn left type of thing. But for knowing their position, they will have a GPS sort of system to show them where they are. But it's much like this. This is a replica of it that shows where they are. Might as well go for this one. Pretty well lined up, so you need to veer a little bit left, just a tiny amount. So try and get that runway lined up with your right knee. That's partly to account for you not being in the centre of the plane. tip of the V down on at the end of the runway. Bring the throttle off a little bit more because we're a little bit too high.
Terrain, terrain. Full up.
400. 300.
Too low, flat. Too low,
200.
flat.
100.
It's good now, just start bringing the nose up a little bit. So we
50. 40. 50. 20. 10.
Right, so throttle's off and reverse is on. Pull these reverses on. It wasn't too bad, it's better than your first one. And it's like everything, it's just practice. Practice and practice. So London, is it? So a good one to do in London is for us to start off at London City Airport, just sort of in the centre of town. We'll fly past all the recognisable buildings and out to Heathrow. Flaps at 5 again. Yep. Park brake off. And throttle to 90. Yep, that's good. Doesn't have to be exact. So this time when we take off, we're going to fly about the same height of those buildings, about through the red dot. We're at 110, 120, 130, 140, rotate. Just pulling back a bit more. Yep, relax. Keep us pointing towards those. So you need to keep your hands on the controls. Push down, push a lot down, get us back down there. And at the same time bring the throttles back to about 60. Yep. And you can put the gear up as well. So I don't know how much you know London. That's the Gherkin building there. That's the Tower Bridge.
London Bridge.
No, I think it's called Tower Bridge, but it's at the Tower of London. You know, the buildings at the Tower of London that have the crown jewels are just the low buildings there. If you make us turn a little bit left, head there you can see the circle for the London Eye. There's St Paul's Cathedral. Just keep your nose down a little bit. Big Ben, Houses of Parliament, and just behind them the two turrets of Westminster Cathedral.
Link rate.
So there you can see the London Eye.
That's the Ferris
Too
wheel.
low.
Yes,
What's it called?
the London Eye.
London Eye.
Yeah, because you can see things, I suppose. So the sparkly bits over there is Heathrow. So just keep this level, so nose down a bit.
How do they get that turbulence?
We can change the weather here if you want.
Yeah. I want to see how they do it in real life.
Yeah. Okay. Well, just let me change. Actually, probably the easiest thing to do, since we're almost landed, if it's all right with you, is we'll land and then we'll do it again with a severe thunderstorm, so there'll be lots of turbulence. Because there's your runway there. You just see the red light next to it, like you have been. So you need to go slightly left and then back to the right eventually. But we can put the gear down in preparation. Yeah. And bring the throttle back to about 40%. Keep your eye on where we're going, so slight right. At the same time, arm that speed brake again. Back there. Yep. So normally you keep one hand on the control so that you can keep steering us. So we need to turn right now. Keep one hand on there while you turn this to 2. Yep. And the flaps can come all the way out, please. So pop them up, yep. So a little bit more to the right and slightly nose up. Just very small adjustments, that's all. It's good now, the nose is fine. Just level us off. Now you can start turning left. Right, you can see the dark strip for the runway.
1,000.
So when it's snowing, they don't fly the plane.
It will depend a lot on the plane and the airport and what sort of electronic assistance they can provide. So
Where's that Bermuda Triangle?
Bermuda Triangle.
Yeah,
that's off America near the Bahamas and Cuba and so on.
So how do the planes get lost in there?
I don't think they do. I don't think there's anything.
Some planes have gotten lost and
Sure.
after they've been found after so long.
Yeah, so planes have crashed there. I just don't think it's as mysterious or evil or whatever as some people would make out.
So
Planes get lost everywhere.
So it's like a lot of air over there, or
So there is a bit of turbulence, and some people have said there's magnetic disturbances. You know, the magnetic field isn't very even there, so that might affect the navigation.
should I pull up or?
Just slightly. So I gave you a little bit more thrust. Enough to the right just to let it take effect. start turning to the left to straighten this out. And bring your throttles all the way off. Yep.
50,
And we'll just float down.
40, 30, 20, 10.
That was excellent. So reverses on. These reverses.
So when I'm landing, why don't I push this thing down?
Okay. So yes, there's sort of expected thing is that you might think you should land like that, but you'll crash. The nose wheel isn't very strong, so it's important that we land with the nose up in the air like that, so that the back wheels touch first, and then push the nose down after we're on the ground. So it's called flaring. You might approach with the nose down a little bit and then turn and land like that. But even so, often the plane will stay straight for that final part of the approach and then flare, because passengers don't like the feeling of having the nose down. And you can adjust the change of altitude just by with the throttle. Right? So we can be in that sort of attitude and losing altitude just by having the right throttle settings. Or the reverse, we could have that attitude and have lots of throttle and actually be climbing. So it's lots more flexibility than in a car. So let's try the same thing again with some stronger weather.
Can we go to a different city within Australia?
Yeah.
Thinking of Uluru?
Uluru, yeah. Just not sure what it's called in here. Which one?
Ayers Rock.
Yeah, but I've loaded it. No, it's not it. Let me just go back and find it a different way.
Ayers.
That's better.
Yeah, that one. Yeah, that one.
Yep. Do you want weather?
Yeah, with turbulence.
Turbulence, okay. So weather we can do stormy weather. So it should be a bit of turbulence. So what you get with turbulent weather, because our cockpit doesn't move, we won't feel it, we won't get jostled around. But if we hit a gust of wind, we'll see that the plane gets pushed around. The effect on the scenery. Oh. We're not going to see Ayers Rock very well. Do you want to change the weather, or are you happy with that?
It's okay.
Okay. So flaps at 5. And park brake off. And throttles at 90.
the plane shake or
1,000.
Don't think. Don't think.
usually the plane shakes
Yes.
in the real plane?
Don't think.
if we do run into a gust, we've got a wind from our left at about 18 knots at the moment. All we'll see, most we'll see is the plane sort of changing where it's pointing. So what we don't get in the simulator is the sort of bumping that you would feel in the plane. Have you been to Ezra?
Just studied about it in high school.
Right. It is very impressive. You should try and find it.
I think it's there, right?
Oh. Yes. So there are other rocks nearby that are called, what's it called? Just can't think of the name. But yes, that's the rock there.
So does this allow us to only land at the airport or anywhere?
No, you can land on top of the rock if you want.
Yeah. Can we?
Probably not. No, we'll have to go away and prepare for the landing because we're just going too fast at the moment. But what I'll do is make sure that we can find it again. At least. So yeah, you can land on the ground anywhere. What we need to do is go a bit slower.
It's so empty.
Yes.
So where do people stay when they go here?
There is a sort of camping ground and a hotel nearby.
2,500.
That's only a 5-minute drive away. Then Alice Springs is about, 3 hours drive or something. So if we turn sharply to the left, see if we can go back in and land on top of the rock. So have you travelled in outback Australia at all?
No. Just Queensland, South Australia, Tasmania, Victoria.
1,000.
That's it. Not Northern Territory or Western
Too
Australia.
low.
Yep.
Terrain.
Tickets are very expensive.
Too low. Terrain.
Yes. Well, it's such a big country too. It takes a long while to
Too
get
low.
there. And
Terrain.
500.
Terrain.
Canberra also drove and came.
Canberra's one?
I drove and came here.
Yep.
Took 3 hours.
From
End of story.
Full up. Bank rate. Full up.
300.
Terrain. Full up. Too low. Gear.
oh, I think we've gone past it. I think we turned a lot more. I thought I had the pink line set for where we needed to go. So let's try turning around to the right. Back on it.
Bank angle.
500.
Bank rate.
400. 300.
Yeah, that looks like a rock.
Up. Terrain.
100.
Terrain.
Okay, so we've got the wheels down.
Terrain.
We have the flaps all the way out
Terrain. Airspeed. Airspeed.
on these things. Just bring the nose up a little bit. Bring the pull up. Just want to be on the top of the rock. That's enough. So are you just visiting Australia, or you?
I live in NSW. I just came to meet my friend here.
Right.
He lives here, so we
Yep.
meet sometimes.
Yep. So you're working or studying?
Both.
Right. I think we're just doing a lot of bouncing. It's weird. It seems to as though we're on the rock, but we're a lot higher than I would have thought. And we're about to fall off. There you go, we'll have to land just here. And that's probably what would happen in real life if you tried landing on Ayers Rock. You'd fall off.
Do you have any snow effect option?
Yes, we can do snow. Looks much the same as this, but I'll show you snow while we're here.
Heavy snow. There was an option.
Heavy snow is this. Doesn't often snow in Central Australia, but if it did, this is what it would look like.
Flying Valley Airport data at this position. Services are not available.
Have you seen that video about Gabriel Pasternak?
I don't think so. Which, say the name again?
Gabriel Pasternak.
That's a person, isn't
Yeah.
it? No.
You know what he does is that whoever he's had a negative relationship with, he gets them on one flight and they like all win the ticket. They don't buy it. So he's the pilot, and then he crashes the plane to get revenge from all of them.
Alright.
And he also kills himself.
Okay. Not
Like
for real.
his girl, just in like a movie.
Yeah.
His girlfriend cheated on him. She was on the same plane. His teacher that gave him bad marks, she was also in that plane. His classmate. Yeah. So he gets the revenge from them by crashing them.
So here we have some snow in Central Australia. You can just take us up a little bit. Ayers Rock is sort of unbelievably big. I've only been there once, but everybody knows it's big, so you're expecting it to be big. And even from when you first see it in the distance, it looks big. But then the closer and closer you get, that's when you're a long, long way away from it. And it just gets bigger and bigger. Whoops, why did we drop? Not too far. Here we are, we've landed on Ayers Rock. Where would you like to fly to next?
I think 1 hour is over.
Oh, you've still got sort of 10 minutes, but it's up to you.
We start at 11:50.
Well, it's up to you. I'm happy. I
I
don't
have
have
to
anybody
drive
else.
back as well, so.
You're back to is
Sydney.
it Sydney you're going to? Yeah. Well, we could fly back into Sydney. That's only a 5-minute flight. If you want.
Last one.
And we'll fly in at night time, which is a little bit different.
Sydney has, I think, couple of airports, right?
Yes.
There's
So,
one, Kingsford,
yes.
domestic terminal, international terminal, and there's one in Bankstown as well,
Yes.
and Camden.
Camden has one. Yes.
But that's not for like, that's just for like flying planes.
Little planes. Yeah.
Little planes.
So Bankstown and Camden are just small planes. They are building a new airport a long way west, like the western end of Sydney. So there'll be a second international airport eventually.
Oh wow. When I go to Pakistan and we arrive at night, it looks like this.
Yeah, yeah, it is very spectacular. Okay, so there's the city centre. That's one bridge pylon and the other bridge pylon. So the bridge is just there, and that's the Opera House, just sort of between.
Blue
them.
Mountain.
They're a long way to your right. So that's
And that
that's
Sydney
the
Tower.
Centrepoint Tower is just there. We'll see it better when we're sort of a bit closer. That bright dot is where you're headed. That's where the airport is. Yep. I'll just match the settings. Why am I not getting that? So something's a bit weird here, but anyway, let's go. You got the plane. Oh, something's gone funny with the settings. I'm not sure whether. Oh, I know what I didn't do was. Okay. That's better. Okay, you need to head a little bit, veer a little bit to the right. We have gear down, this set, and that's all right out.
2,500.
So you can see your runway there.
International or domestic?
Both use the same runways. So this is runway 16 right, that's 16 left, and there's a third runway that goes across the two. But both domestic and international will land at the same runways. It's just then where they taxi to, whether they go to the international terminal on this side or the domestic terminal on that side.
Sydney Harbour Bridge.
Yes, that's right, Opera House. That's the Centrepoint Tower there. Just go gentle turn to the left now, just to go straight. Yep,
1,000.
that's an off turn. So how long have you been in Sydney?
Since November 2008.
2008?
Yeah.
Oh right, that's a long time.
Can you travel in space or not?
No. If you try to go up, you get to about 35,
Can you like
40,000.
change this into a spaceship?
No, the software doesn't simulate that. it will simulate other aircraft, but we can't even pretend to be other aircraft because we don't have.
So you've got Etihad, Emirates, Virgin Australia, Jetstar, everything.
Yeah, I mean, like we can't pretend to be a helicopter or a fighter jet. We're stuck with just being a 737. We can change the, whether it looks like a Jetstar plane or a Qantas plane, or what we have at the moment is just in the glowing colours.
So at night time it's like this.
Yeah.
200. 100. 50, 40, 30, 20, 10.
It's good. Throttle off and reverses on. Throttles and reverses. There you go. Saved you the drive. It'd be nice to be able to just get out at the right place, but yeah, unfortunately it doesn't work like that. And there you go. Just put these in the phone. So with that T-bar you can just pull it up and let yourself out. Just be careful of your head when you stand up, but you don't